88.5 of FM. It's now 12 after the hour. It's the first solution, of course, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. Like I said earlier on, what a way to start. And with me is none other than Chef Orlando. A special good morning to you, Chef. And let me just say, congratulations to you on yet another achievement. It's a pleasure to have you back here, although it's been a while.
Good morning, Solution. Good morning, Sufria, and the West Eastern Caribbean. It's a pleasure to be back here with you. It's been a while. We normally have this once a month, have a look, take a take, get together, have a conversation. But it's been about 3 or 4 months now. So nice to be back in the studio with you.
Thank you so much for that. How have you been?
Well, like anything else in life, we're grateful to be an opportunity to be alive. And by all accounts, we're doing okay. Anything else, we thank for the moment and enjoy the opportunities. So for me, it's been a very interesting year, equally very busy, but ultimately still on my passion of showcasing Caribbean cuisine. So by all accounts, when the passion takes you, you can do it with love, don't you?
Definitely. And from previous conversations we've had where you said share the love, it's not all about the food, but sharing the love. It's using love to create the menu.
Yes. Well, I mean, the idea is that you come to the Caribbean, and of course, the idea that I have, because the first rule of kitchen, never cook in a bad mood, because the mood dictates how you cook the food. So ultimately, over the years, we've kind of tried to made that become part of our state and quarters in the kitchen in the restaurant. So I would definitely tell people that I'm in a good mood. Even when the news of yesterday, the global conversation happened yesterday, it still doesn't take away the love of cooking. So the mood is still good. I'm still in that sharing the love mood. So and share the love, it means Shalusha, STL, just for your team.
That hashtag that.
Hashtag share the love.
Definitely. Basically, tell us what you've been doing before we get into the big moment.
Well, like I said before, the restaurant now, this is our 12th year. We've been equally very busy. I must say, this year I've done a lot of traveling. I've been to Brussels as a guest chef in Brussels. Been to Florida a few times. I was in London. I've been around just trying to raise the profile of Caribbean cuisine. At the end of the day, I was telling people before you can be a business owner in your business, but you know your business in your absence. So sometimes you have to kind of go away to let people do the business. So I must say that my staff have contributed a hell of a lot to my opportunity to travel and promote the Caribbean cuisine and promote St. Lucia in a way that I think we can showcase our local flavors.
Definitely. And when you speak of Caribbean cuisine, what exactly which sets us apart, really?
Well, I would say to you that the word Caribbean defines the 34 islands in the Caribbean and any kind of wider extent. But what St. Lucia has is a uniqueness of local and getting more fresh ingredients. I've been to a few islands now where I see they import a lot more than we do. So I would tell you before, we use a lot more local stuff. When I say about Caribbean, I mean seasoning and marinating. What determines us from a country is that how we marinate and how we season. I think a lot of us in the Caribbean understand the value of our grandmothers and grandparents and our mothers. And sometimes you never had much, but trust me, the food tastes good. I'm saying? So ultimately, it's about the season and marinating. And I think with my international exposure, it's allowed me to also cook correctly. One of these complaints I've often got out. Sometimes we overcook the fish. I'm saying so. My winning joke: don't murder the fish. First of all, catch it from the ocean, but cook it correctly in the stove. You know what I'm saying? So these are small ideas of how we can do things correctly. But ultimately, as well, think beyond the box. If you're going to do, everyone does pumpkin soup, but it doesn't take nothing to add a little turmeric to the pumpkin soup. It don't take nothing to add an extra ginger. If you're gonna do macaroni, you're not going to tell me adding a little sea moss now. I add sea moss to my macaroni
Really?
to get a little thick in the onion
Oh,
rather than too
never
much
heard
oil and
of.
so much flour. So again, I can share ideas of how you can be creative. Yesterday at my restaurant, I made a dessert, a brulee with sea moss. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is that we as a restaurant and restaurant people and restaurant chefs is to allow ourselves to be more creative, you know what I'm saying? Don't just see the things as okay, well, that's how it's always been that way. You can actually take the things and make it more interesting and more creative, you know. So I think that's the journey that I'm on right now. I mean, ultimately, my vision, I would love to be involved in helping more young people. I mean, this year as well, I kind of helped people in Fortune Jack do training. You know, in the culinary, we did a gastronomy few days with some of the community people down there and teaching them how to use local ingredients, how to plate their food. You know, then they came to my restaurant and they did like a 3 day program where we had them in my kitchen. We showed them how to do certain things. They created a menu themselves. You know, so I think that's really supporting persons and showing them what they can do with ingredients, you know. And now I become the sounding board. When they want ideas, they call me and say, Chef, what do you think of this idea? So that's the quite a nice thing, you know?
I think it's a good thing as well,
Yeah.
being able to train other young persons.
Yeah, it's kind of an, you know, I think I just heard last week that the SLHDA is sending its culinary team to Miami, and I want to wish them all the best. I mean, apparently most team members are from Super, I believe. So
Yes.
what Super is showing us is that we are a location for cuisine in our community. We know with all our five-star hotels and a few independent restaurants, we've become the face of culinary for Super St. Lucia. While I think St. Lucia could be considered a culinary destination now with all our awards, I think Super has really stepped up as a community to say, well, you know, this community, more than most communities, are doing a lot more of the cooking and creative ideas.
Nice. And now tell us about your journey, which led you to St. Lucia's Best Culinary Awards Restaurant and Bar 2024. And again, this is just
Well,
another
yeah,
one to add to the collection.
well, you know, one thing for sure, let's be real. You know, any recognition is a recognition of solution. It doesn't really matter whether, you know, we have our first Olympic champion making the rounds, but guess what? It all comes back to solution. So my recognition of World Culinary Award is just a way to support the destination that we can be culinary and we can come to St. Lucia and have the cuisine. Um, the recognition came early in the year when Orlando's and two other hotels, not restaurant independents, and two other hotels, restaurants were recognized as on the nomination for Best Culinary Destination, Culinary Awards, World Destination Awards. And myself and two of the hotels were recognized, and the audience had to vote for it. The audience had to choose from those three hotels. I can name them Jade Mountain and Kent and Orlando's. We were the three. And of course, persons were voting. And of course, it was quite funny because I had planned to go. I mean, before I came to St. Lucia, and I just want to share with a lot of people. A lot of people think that I came to St. Lucia to be discovered. If anyone knows me, you would know that I'm a chef way back in London, way before I came to St. Lucia. I was actually involved with the very first Caribbean restaurant in Singapore. You know, I was there for like 2 years, promoted Caribbean cuisine, and we were the very first back in 95, 96, 95, 96. And then before that, I was in London, and I opened a restaurant in South London. I was involved in promoting Caribbean cuisine and putting Caribbean cuisine in the five-star hotels. So sometimes I get this sentiment that people think that I just became discovered in solution. I've been doing this for over 40, 45 years now, 40 plus years. So that being said, I must say that staying in St. Lucia though has given me the opportunity to do a lot more in what I want to do in the cuisine element. And obviously, someone reminded me last week, not a true solution because obviously I was born in the UK. I kind of would like to remind people that, you know, I don't know who is, I mean, all I can know that officially they've given me, I've actually got a solution passport now, so I've become qualified as a solution. But that being said, I am a person who believes that the best cuisine in the world should be Caribbean. I do believe St. Lucia is the destination for culinary. And this award was an opportunity that while personally voting, I went to Singapore to, so, you know, do some consultancy there and also some stuff there. And while I was in Singapore, I got an email that the restaurant was the winner. And the ceremony just happened to be in Dubai, 2 weeks later while I was in Singapore. So I decided that decided my partner and I, let's go and go and pick up the awards. So the award ceremony was actually in Dubai, you know, and so we booked a flight and from Singapore. And I must say that I've always wanted to go to Dubai just to sort of feel the flavor of Dubai. I mean, you see so much of Dubai, you know, but to go in and actually go and see these amazing buildings and, amazing creative ideas, and the food was absolutely crazy, But to go there, and then the awards ceremony came around and to present to go, and I was the only Caribbean guy there. I had all these people from, from South Africa, from, Saudi Arabia, everybody, and there's only me, a kid from Birmingham, England, living in St. Lucia on this world stage, pick up this award. It was quite a unreal situation. I mean, surreal, but I must say that I felt very proud to be out there waving the flag of St. Lucia as a chef, saying, "Well, okay, we have Olympic champions, we have cricket players, but guess what? We also have culinary in our bag as well."
Definitely. But then just tell me a little in terms of what you learned from this experience and what would you like to incorporate in your
Well,
day to day?
one thing for sure, our journey is not. Our journey stops when we stop. Our ideas stop when we start seeing what's possible. I would tell people actually, I am from the UK, originally from Birmingham, England, and I've moved a lot, but I'm in the Caribbean. But I did see that someday that Caribbean cuisine can be seen as an international recognition. So every time the opportunity comes for me to speak about it or do my cuisine, it elevates the Caribbean cuisine. I mean, that's really what it's all about to me. It's always been about make Caribbean cuisine internationally recognizable. Stop these conversations where we have Caribbean night in the Caribbean. Always wondered why we do Caribbean night in the Caribbean. A lot of our hoteliers still do this situation where they say, tonight is a Caribbean night, and tomorrow we're going to do it. What's it all about? Every night is the Caribbean. By the way, we should be doing Caribbean every day. And by the way, you know what? Maybe you may want to do an Italian buffet or French buffet. I've never gone to Italy and have an Italian night in Italy every night. So the point I'm making is to have self-belief on the products, and self-belief in our people. And what this experience taught me is that everything is possible with faith. I'm a great believer of faith. I had a staff meeting yesterday, and before we started the meeting, we did a little prayer. And my staff said, "Why are we praying?" I said, "We pray because we have to stay focused on faith. You don't accomplish nothing without faith. And even when things are against you, you have to say, look at everything negative against you. There's got to find positive in the conversation." You know what I'm saying? I have this funny running joke that when you go to college and you pay to go to college and you get your degree, they don't give you money back. You just get your degree. So the point I'm making is you invest in yourself, and your investment in yourself is what you get out of it. So I think ultimately, I do hope that young people can see me as a chef of St. Lucia who appreciate using local ingredients, and in my interest supporting local. I mean, my local vendors from the community. I love to give a shout out to all my souffle vendors. I'm hoping that we'll do our annual luncheon we do every year.
I was about to ask about that.
Oh, that's going to happen this year. We have a luncheon probably about the 15th of December, but I'll go and see my vendors. 15th of December is in my mind to do the event. And we want to invite them and let them come down and sit down and enjoy the experience. The award isn't just for me, it's for them as well. We would definitely, I'm invited to other places now to be a guest chef. I arrived in Barbados a few weeks ago, and the limousine was sent to me to pick me up because I won the award. Which is quite a nice thing. So, I mean, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a chef on a mission. Yes, people may want to call me a celebrity, and maybe I use that word in communicating, but the reality, I'm from this town of Suffolk. I could have moved my restaurant anywhere else, but I choose to stay here because I believe this destination is where people discover solution. There's more community, and if we can have all these five-star hotels, which I've seen globally around the world, why can't we have a high-end independent restaurant too?
Yeah, definitely. Well said. At that moment, let me just take an opportunity to ask you as an individual, what drives you, make you want to wake up every day and go get it, notwithstanding the challenges?
Well, you have to kind of remind yourself this is just a moment in time. I give a running joke. My restaurant opposite the cemetery, so you ain't got far to go. It's a running joke, but okay. You have to kind of remind yourself that you wake up and do what you do. Honestly, you see me, but a lot of people see success and say, "Oh, that guy's lucky," and everything. But no one ever sees me driving up and down the roads 2 or 3 days a week. No one ever sees me go to the market one at a time. No one ever sees me doing stuff which, carrying my luggage or whatever. So they will see success or failure. What drives me is a passion that I've truly believed that I watched the cuisine and all of the international cuisines got so elevated to the global exposure. And the Caribbean, while we're pushing ourselves up there, we're still away from being what I think it should be. So what drives me is a passion to see that cuisine on the level of respectability. I'm not saying people disrespect our local cuisine. People love our local flavors, but I'm saying what we can do is get it to another level. Saying we can get people to come and pay respectable money for it. It's not. I don't do. People say, "Orlando, you're so expensive." Whatever. I said, I don't do cheap food. We do affordable. If you value yourself, you don't question the price. Come enjoy the price. You know what I'm saying? You don't. If you want a new pair of shoes and you like the shoes, you'll find the money to pay for the shoes. If you want to enjoy Orlando's, you find money. You know what I mean? But the point I'm making to what drives me is a passion to see Caribbean cuisine in a continuous realms. And I have to say, when I came to Lucia, I knew about Chef Harry. I was actually at his funeral, Chef Harry's funeral. And what disappointed me a little bit was this man had contributed so much to St. Lucia and putting St. Lucia on the culinary world map, you know. And he stayed in St. Lucia. And when he went to his funeral, I must say, I would thought that the place would be overflowing. It was not, you know what I'm saying? That being said, that's an individual who contributed to elevating the cuisine. Nina Compton, another person who's not in St. Lucia, but yet she is contributing to the vision of the cuisine of the Caribbean. And as a St. Lucian, she's doing a lot to make sure people see the cuisine in its face. So there's different areas that everyone's contributing. Our contribution is like a broth. Everybody has different flavor to the broth, but the broth still tastes good.
Okay. Also, in terms of software and its development, culinary aspect, what do you see happening? And your plans for 2024, Orlando's restaurants and bar?
25, you mean?
2025.
I was saying the plans, I want to give out too many plans, but what I would like to see, I think our destination for hospitality. So we do need at some point a hospitality school, which represents hospitality, not just because there's a location which adds cooking to it. It has to be a school which kind of said, okay, there's a section for the kitchen, there's a section for housekeeping, there's a section for front of house, there's a section for maintenance, and all areas of the industry, like almost like a hotel, but a hotel with a school that trains you. So you have teachers will be kind of will be teaching everybody to make sure the proper thing is done. Your guest service communication. How to use AI and internet service and all that sort of things in your hotel industry, in your reservation bookings. How do you communicate that person? How do you say to somebody, "Welcome to so and so"? Those are areas that we're going to have to improve. At the end of the day, we can say our hoteliers are doing a great job, but when the industry independent, when the person leave the hotel, where do they go to? Because unfortunately now, unless you're a hotel worker, There's very few places left for you to go unless you go to restaurants. So what you now need to do is find a way to cement that hospitality on industry. That if someone leaves St. Lucia, they can go work anywhere else in the world without feeling they have to sort of like at a limitation. That's something I want to do. And one of the things I will share with you, I propose an idea that some people are interested in talking to me. I will be doing, I'm planning on the 27th, 26th, I think, um, November, to do a wine training. One of the things that I find, sometimes for us is that, and it's not, this is not a knock on anybody, everyone has their own area to do certain things. What I'm trying to do, and it's my vision is trying to elevate people up. We drink wine in the Caribbean. I mean, actually, I'm a big person that it runs is local, which is so important. But the way out to, we're in the industry of hospitality. Our clients come in and they want to drink wine. Wouldn't it be great that when our guest comes in, that we don't say, he want red or white wine. We can say to the guest, can I have your Sauvignon Blanc or Merlot? Or, I mean, that's just elevating somebody's education. You see? I was kind of, the question was, what's it going to do for the community if the people know about wine? Well, actually, you may be surprised that someone might run with that conversation and decide to open a wine bar in Super. Wouldn't that be great? A really upscale wine bar. Or a simple wine bar which sells more than just kind of red and white wine. You never know where someone takes an opportunity from. So I'm saying, so like I said to the individuals, I and then they made a joke. Well, you try to tell guests to your restaurant. That wasn't the point. The idea is to educate our communities in different areas, whether it be wine, whether it be making a sauce, not just adding flour to the sauce, whether making barbecues. You can. It doesn't. Education doesn't stop because you're in a community, and and I was going to clarify something to the individual. Said, well, I'm always running out our community. The individual said, well, that's not true. I love this community, but I've been here a long time, and I'm seeing areas that we can improve on. Not that because I'm saying I'm taking it. I mean, I see areas that we can improve on. Nothing wrong with saying that because I live here. I paid. I mean, I live here for the longest, nearly 30 years. So that I believe that I can contribute, and everybody can contribute, and not just international hotels can contribute. We, the locals, can do our things too. You know what I mean? Yeah, and even to the fact that I think we have more rum shops in Super than anywhere else I know, and not a knock on rum shops, but obviously the point being, wouldn't it be great to have other areas that we can improve on too? And that's, I mean, I'm a small business owner. That's what I can share, but I don't mean to offend anybody. It's not about offending anybody. It's about everybody understand where Sufi can be if we choose to all put ourselves up to the point,
Definitely. Challenging you a little. Not too long ago, there was an initiative that you embarked upon in terms of having a cooking competition and getting persons involved, going against each other. But you remember that. It would be a nice gesture, maybe to revamp it, or maybe look at ways that you can maybe bring it to life.
Well, I agree. I mean, one of the things I do want to do next year, I mean, and again, as with the man, because now, I mean, please. The interesting thing, I don't know, people saw the article just came out in Travel and Leisure. I think I said it to you. I mean, Travel and Leisure attracts 19.2 million people. Yet they recognize St. Lucia, as one of the tops, and of course they put my restaurant in the top five, a top in the Caribbean in St. Lucia. I mean, among Jade Mountain and so forth. And then the point I'm making is that we're getting the reputation, the community get the reputation. So from a cooking competition point of view, I would love to work with Super FM. Maybe we can come up with a plan. I do have an idea, but I'm trying to pen it out for March next year. So maybe I can talk to you about my idea up here. So someone doesn't run away with an idea, because people like to pick up ideas. But I do have an idea. I think that there is definitely a need to celebrate women. One of my biggest things that I watch, where are our women executive chefs? That's one of the concerns me as a chef myself for how many years. I know a lot of women friends who are around the world, but where are our top women executives here in solution? I'm saying, so maybe that's something we need to find a way to elevate them. Yeah, they're coming through, but we now need to make sure they start getting the platform to be seen because representation draws attraction. So if you're a young lady, you can see an executive chef woman, you may want to be that person. You know what I mean? So the competition, we'll talk about that. I have a few ideas here. 2025 is going to be an interesting year. It's going to be a lot going on. I mean, I would say to you on a personal note, watching the election yesterday was quite a disappointing for the global world. I don't really have too much to say that matter, but I just think I know a lot of persons who feel, well, that's the right thing to do. But the other thing I was saying that note that if anyone with any, let's just say, record, which is, has to be accountable for, now you've got a green light to be the money to come job. That's what I can say in the matter. But I will tell you, it was, I just think we can all have disagreements, but civil discourse, but self-respect is all we need to do. I don't need to put you down to raise myself up.
Which is true. Just before we get into the final piece of it, Gloria Leah. I came home and worked with Orlando's. He was a great employer who didn't take nonsense from staff where his restaurant was concerned.
What's what?
Where his restaurant was concerned.
Oh yeah. Well, um, I think people who know me knows that our accomplishment and the accomplishment of Orlando's is not just me, but I don't take much nonsense because I know what I want. I believe in the cuisine, but I also agree that I have a reputation. Like I said before, my journey to St. Lucia is not in St. Lucia alone. And so, and when I travel, I speak, but if I say to customers, hey, go to Orlando's, we're going to give you the best local cuisine possible, I like to think that I'm speaking the truth to somebody. And it's not just about the food, it's about the service, it's about the respectability, it's about the staff, it's about you walk into a restaurant and I'm a customer. If I walk in a restaurant and I see certain things at a place, that's gonna, and that's just a reality. And you don't have to disagree or like what I do. Just understand that it's in the interest of respectability. And I don't want this thing called, oh, because of the Caribbean, let's give them a pass. No, we can do better. We don't have to always be a little kind of in a corner trying to think, we're doing it, you know what I mean? Let's do it. So thank you for coming.
Nice. And also, you made mention off the record that you will be leaving for St. Martin.
Yeah,
Share that with us.
give you a shout out there. The fact is, actually, I'm St. Martin actually has a culinary week coming up, and since July they invited me to be one of the participants in the event. It's gastronomy week, and I'm also supposed to do some competition at some point. I mean, I don't like competitions anymore, but anyway, I'll have to have fun with it. So I'm off for a week this week to just go there and do that, and then I think I'm supposed to be one more trip again, maybe in Barbados. But at the end of the day, my restaurant is open. What Why I'm doing this is not because it's about Orlando. It's really about my staff stepping up. They have to step up. I was giving the joke that you never see the guy from I don't know, maybe let's say the guy who owns court standing on the shop floor selling his furniture. He has staff you have to
Yes.
respect, and you have to put systems in place to manage your business. If I'm cannot believe my business, then I don't really have a business. It means that I have to be there all the time. The nature of business is to manage and give systems in place and make sure people do what they're supposed to do consistently. Um, my chef, my chef from who's my chef right now, um, she's doing an amazing job, man, in doing that. She did an amazing job. I constantly try to push her on her because I know she is a woman, and it's kind of new for her sometimes. But she's been responsible. We've been for nearly a year now. But I must say, I trust her in her accomplishments, and I know she makes amazing ingredients, and we make our own ice creams now. We make our own bread, and that's all her contribution to the restaurant. And so, I have to trust that she will deliver in my absence. And let's just say, I'm going to St. Martin this time, but you never know. One could be sick, or I'm not sure calling, but you never know. So, for whatever reason, one's not absent, one's not in the business, your staff must do what they need to do. I'm saying, and so Gemma, I give a shout out to Gemma as well because Gemma has become a bit of a pride right now. Of course, and my new restaurant manager, Chris, and Anissa and Miss Jane. These are all my and Miss Leo. These are all the team members. We'll keep the ball rolling whenever I'm off island or whatever I'm doing stuff.
Nice. It is almost time where we end
Yeah.
this interesting discussion. Humor. We end on that. Let him cook. Tell us about it.
Again,
Let him cook.
what's that conversation? Is that a
The
statement?
Prime Minister.
Oh, you know what? I have to tell you guys, on a serious note, what was so, this is not me being partisan. This is me telling you that when you have your prime minister so approachable and reachable, is a compliment to the island. It's a compliment to who we are as people. The prime minister, when he came to, I was actually a big shout out to as well. To last week, I was actually at the Solution Taiwanese trade show where I was a guest chef and I would do cooking demonstrations. And on the first night, I had the prime minister came by my booth while I was doing the thing, and then I was saying to him, Mr. PM, come and join me. Chef, I don't cook. I said, Mr. PM, come on. And he was able to convince him to come on, put an apron around his jacket and cook. Someone said, let him cook. Well, I would say, let him share the love. That's what he's doing, actually. And I have to give him a big shout out, Mr. PM. You did a great job. I actually think we should kind of, if you decided another job, get you in the kitchen. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting. But I think we should get your ministers around the table and see if we can have a little cooking competition with the ministers. That'd be kind of fun. But I think rather than have a political runoff, just get the two parties together and let's do a cook-off and see the best chefs from there. Then we give them the party. But no, he was very commendable and very supportive, and I thank him very much. And I also thank we, the people of Solution, need to know that governments around the world are not so approachable. There's such a barrier between them. You can't get to them. So that for the prime minister to be receptible and reachable in our islands is a testimony to who we are. Respect to the government of the islands. I mean that they're not so far removed from the people. So I was very impressed, and I look forward to our next session.
Nice. What would you like to leave with our audience, 15 to the hour?
Well, I need to run like a cooking class today, but what I will tell the audience of Sufre and the wider audience is that cooking is about sharing. When you cook with somebody, you share your heart. Because at the end of the day, the person trusts you that you're going to cook it with respectability, cook with care, and you're going to cook something that you yourself can eat. The people trust you when they come to your businesses. They trust you when they come to your hotel. They trust you that you will deliver something for them that you yourself can eat comfortably and it's safe enough. So take notes when you're preparing food. Make sure your service is clean around you. Make sure you're in a good spirit of cooking. Make sure that you store food correctly. The biggest thing that I've sometimes people always store food and being mindful of how you're using certain foods. I mean, one of the things that we are big here in St. Lucia is that our green fig salad is mayonnaise, the concept of mayonnaise, because that's what we know it as. But you can't be having mayonnaise in the sunshine. people are going to get sick. So maybe you can use green banana with a vinaigrette, which allows you to, just more details you can think of. So just trying to think about that. People come to you because they trust you with their health. So whatever you prepare food, just mindful, be respectful with it. I will not. I'm not knocking any chefs here, but I do remind chefs that when you traveling to work with your chef's uniform on, remember when you're on the street, you don't know who you're talking to, you know what's going on. Then you go to the kitchen with that chef uniform, you don't know what's going to happen on your uniform. I've told my staff, you come to work with a uniform, you go back. You're not come to work with your chef uniform on the street because you don't know where you're sitting around, and then you got bacteria in your jacket. Then you're going to go back and go to the kitchen. So again, I'm not knocking anyone because it's well, chef bonus. No, I'm saying to you, just be respectful to your guests that they trust you with their health. Food is health. So when they come to you, yes, they may be hungry, but they put their trust in you to make sure that food is safe at the end of the service.
And I think that's a great observation as well. And maybe it should be noted.
Well,
Definitely. Yes.
I note a few things, but I am very mindful that perception is conversation. So I try to not to be the. I'm not trying to give anybody no. I'm just trying to share my observation, and I share with my staff my perspective. I'm not telling everyone to do it. Do what you want to do. That's your choice. But I'm just saying from the customers trust us to deliver. That when they come to eat at your restaurant, to eat at your food store, they can go back and feel safe within there. They don't want to feel come to say take a risk of their life. They're coming to you because you set the tone and you make sure they're safe.
Definitely. We have Carlton Joseph saying, very good job, Chef Orlando. We have a Bryanson Snack and Solange extending morning greetings.
Thank you so much. Well, I would like to say that I am with another funny thing. I just quick note him. I have this funny English accent. Oh boy, the guy going so Lucian to me. I said no. Actually, let me tell you my story. My mom is Jamaican. My dad is Bajan. I was born in the UK, but my heart right now is St. Lucia. I was up for conversation. I believe that what makes St. Lucia unique is that we have contributions from all over the world who choose to stay and live in St. Lucia and make St. Lucia our home and contribute to the wealth of St. Lucia. So by all accounts, I would like to think that I have contributed a little bit to that state of situation. And I would like to thank the audience and actually the people who support me, come to me and say, hey, Chef, congratulations. It's been really heartening to get that recognition when I come around the place because, it feels good, we are a small community super. And while I say small, we are the number one community for St. Lucia. We are the face of St. Lucia. So universally together, we can make it a better place, And all our international people have come to St. Lucia and made it their home. They choose to because they want to be part of something, They don't choose because they went from something. I mean, they come to St. Lucia and they stay in St. Lucia because they feel the warmth of the people of St. Lucia. So, and they encourage and inviting. And so I definitely I felt that over the last number of years. I mean, every so often someone reminds me that I don't belong, but then it's okay. It's good for that conversation too as well.
Okay. Again, I just want to hear your take on the commencement of the cruise ship season and how would you benefit greatly from that?
Well, I think the cruise ship season is going to be a very busy one. You know, we all have a contribution to play. I mean, the cruise ship. I mean, I'm going to say to you, I'm about to run off because I actually have a cruise ship guest come to my restaurant just now. We do cooking class and lunch. The benefits are for Soup Fair. I look forward to Soup Fair. I'm not saying we're in a place we are, but I know that there's more we can do to attract businesses in. We need more stores in the community that people can feel comfortable to go into and saying, we need more restaurants in. While I at my restaurant, I'm not opposed to having 10, 20 restaurants in St. Lucia. It's super. Okay, the more restaurants, the more business comes around. If you get 10 good 15, 20 restaurants here, maybe 25 people come. You know what I mean? So I think more business is better. All we need to understand is that we are solutions, but also we can raise certain standards And it's not a case of taking away from what we've done. It makes sure we have the cultural feeling of who we are. Don't lose our cultural heritage, but we also can do raise our standards and how we greet somebody along the road, and how do we meet our guests when we meet our how do we respond to them? I mean, what do we do with the zombies who comes walking around with a guest with his showing his behind? How do you deal with that? I mean, because that's what customers you today in social media world. First thing they grab is the phone. You become social media star. So again, that needs to be addressed. I'm going to talk about two more things before I go on the category, but a small idea. I've been saying for the longest, disability has not been addressed as a process here in our communities. We need to find a way to attract persons who have disability. Any one of us could be of disability at any time. And yet the communities, our roads, our sidewalks, I've not been to Sulphur Springs for a while, so I'll go and take a look. But I know I've been pushing for the Sulphur Springs for a long time to become accessible to disability. When my niece came from a few years ago, I had to carry her up and down the stairs and carry her into the pond. So we need to have more accessibility for disability. I've also become a member. I've just become on the board of Sickle Cell Society. Again, I'm going to start to help, contribute in a small way because I think, again, the sickle cell have become a group that I know for 20, 30 years now, due to my family member. I think there would need to be more face value on what we can do for sickle cells. And again, it's all for the disability section. So those are my two big causes I really want to focus on 25 in my quiet corner of cooking. How do we raise more awareness of disability in the communities? Make sure accessible access for disabilities. I mean, make sure we have bathrooms that if somebody is in a wheelchair, they can go to the bathroom and turn around in a wheelchair. They can get into the bathrooms. I mean, we can't be saying we're a tourist destination, but somehow we've closed some opportunities for people of disability. We need to be able to access those processes for people who need it. And don't ever say, oh, well, I'm okay, because any one of us could trip and fall and have a disability at any time. And then you need those, and then you realize how important those access were not there to you.
Definitely. Pick you a little. I know you have to go,
Yeah.
but how you celebrated Gene Creole? And
I would say this year, Unique Creole for me has never been while I support it, I've never done much for my restaurant because I actually feel I love the idea of Unique Creole. I would like. I'm like it's not about me and my restaurant. My restaurant does. I would like to think we do kind of Gina every day in some sort of form. So I tend to close. But I watch it around the season. It is very good. I mean, I saw some areas. I'm always mindful that Junior Creole is one time of year that everyone becomes a chef. Which is a very interesting time of year. But I will leave it like that. I just think that everyone becomes a chef. Everyone's the best chef. And the food is very interesting. But I think, personally speaking, I infuse Caribbean and locals in my cuisine every day. And also for me, I would rather people be out in the communities rather than coming to a restaurant. So I don't tend to be open. But what I've seen of it this year was very interesting and quite exciting. Actually, I must say that I was impressed with some of the food I tried. I didn't go much out, in all fairness, but it's for me, Junior Creole should be every month, as far as I'm concerned. It shouldn't be the occasion. We are Junior Creole. So, I mean, that's my view.
nice.
Well, I thank you for your time. And I stay longer than the house guest normally stays because I have a lot to say, but already share the love. I want to wish all our hoteliers and independent restaurant and business owners success in this coming season. Be mindful to be safe, secure, and also let me share a small story just to be mindful that when you get because I had a situation where I had a cyber attempt on my restaurant in terms of somebody sent an email saying, we got a group of people coming to the restaurant. They send an email to me, and then they send in the email. We're coming to a table of 30 people, and by the way, we have a band that we wanted to perform with us. And they chose, and then they gave an email to the band, and then they gave everything else to me. And then I followed up, and then my staff followed up, and whatever it was. And I cut the story short. Basically, when you found out now, it was a scam. It was a scam. What they were doing, they sent emails out, and then the email said, "Okay, we got a ban," and the ban, could you pay the ban in full? Pay the ban in full, and then you pay the ban in full, and when the ban was supposed to turn up, they would turn up. The scam was you would pay the ban in full online, the ban wouldn't show up, and then you realize they didn't show up either. And the joke was the person who emailed me, they even WhatsApp me. I even spoke to somebody on the phone, and then it just kind of happened. The week it's supposed to turn up, I ended up saying, "Well, why have they shown up?" They go, "No, we're going to delay for another week." Okay, fine, no problem. The following weekend, the person called me and said, "Okay, here's my credit card number." So we started putting the credit card number. The credit card didn't work twice. Then I started thinking, that's not crazy. So then I went online and I took the letter they sent to me and put it into Google search, and I found the exact letter with a few changes. Now, why am I saying that to you?
Unbelievable.
Huh?
Unbelievable.
I mean, unbelievable. But why I'm saying that, because I'm sure people are happening to these scams and no one's sharing. We need to share with each other in the interest of each other. I'm sharing because I think it's important that you may get caught with one of these scam situations, because it can violate my email. The individual spoke to me and everything like you swear it's true, but it was actually a scam. So for people, be mindful, especially businesses, when you see emails looking like a large group, just do the research. We did all the relevant research. We did the email response. I spoke to the individual. I got WhatsApp. I've got everything, and yet it was a scam. So the person again very very creative now with the scamming. So just be mindful. If it seems too good to be true, think about it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Is that how you're ending? Anything else you want to leave in
Well, I want to
closing?
say
Any
thank you again
recommendations?
for my staff and team. I'm on my way back now. I want to thank the community of Sufa for continually supporting the vision. And I wish you all success for the season. And remember, we are the face of solution. So the best thing is put up best foot forward, and we can keep going. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much. And as I keep saying, keep sharing the love. We're more than food. We're culinary and Sufa experience. And a big shout out to my dear lady, always Claudia Charmine, because behind every successful man trying is a lady there pushing him forward. Thank you so much. Nice speaking to you all.
11 a.m. On that note, we say thank you so much to all those of you who sent in your commendations, who tuned in. Thank you so much for
Thanks so much.
gracing us with your opportunity.
Thanks so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much.
much. Enjoy the rest.
Thanks so much. Take
Up
care.
next, Monza Regis for Special Education and Rehabilitation Center. It's all about the road race. You'll hear more about that. Keep it locked.